HJ Magra, how you doing? Rogel, what's up? How's everybody doing? I think we're good. I think we're good. All right, let's fade this in and see how it works. Beautiful. Always a surprise. Every single time it's a surprise. All right, so we got a couple things going on. I've got an Epidemic playlist on Spotify right now. It's called Christmas Trap. Could be a mistake. We'll see. We'll leave it on for now. And the other thing is I think I finally have my audio sorted out. So let me know how that sounds. Ernie, what is happening? How you doing, my friend? How's Tuesday treating you? All right, what is going on? Crops are growing. Crops are growing. Now, I noticed something when I went into, because I did speed ahead 3 days. It is now the first day of summer. So I moved forward 3 days from the end of the last episode. And this is what I noticed. So when we come in here, for our lime, it says we're a little bit low on our arable fields and a little bit low on this grass field as well, 7.7. But I don't think in real life you can add lime to arable fields once they're planted. You can't do that, can you? I don't think you can. So that is one thing. And then the other thing is when we go to nitrogen, our arable fields look pretty good. It's only our grass fields that are low. Now we fertilized our arable fields with spray, and we fertilized our grass fields with slurry. And now we're going to fertilize our grass fields with pellet, because I don't want to mess with slurry again. Also, it was like 10,000 pounds per tanker, per trailer. Way more expensive than I thought it would be. Unbelievably expensive. So we do have, if you didn't see the last episode, there goes my voice. How'd we do? 6 minutes. Fantastic. About midway through the last episode, the Ford kind of bugged out. So I did go ahead and trade it in, and we only got 10 grand for it. So I think we lost about 30,000 on that. MK Flurry. I don't know what that means. 2 more days of work and then you're off till the new year. Hell yeah, man. That'll be a nice break. I mean, I know furlough sucks, but at least you're off for the holidays. Yeah, the Ford bugged out, so we sold it, and we only got about 10 grand for it. So that is not cool. And we went ahead and got T6, base game T6. You know, I'm starting to pull back from some types of mods. I'm doing it in ETS. And I'm doing it in Farm Sim as well. So I love that T-dub. But I'm feeling like the mod community is... Maybe they're the ones that are sort of starting it. Like the mod community is pulling back. I feel like there are fewer mods. And the quality's a little different. I still think 17 was the high watermark. So let's pull out here. Getting just a little bit of chug and stutter right now. We'll see if that smooths out at all. I feel like sometimes because we have to tab out when I'm getting the stream set up, I feel like when we come back into Farm Sim, it takes a minute for Windows to get resources reallocated. Please help. I don't know what that means either. I don't know what's going on with you, brother. What is happening over there? So we'll smooth out. I noticed this beginning of the last stream too. Look at this. What is that? What is that? I don't know what's going on with this field. I did plow it a second time. I mean, I plowed it back under, and it does look like, I mean, let's stop here for a second. If we go over here, right over here, it says this is seeded. It says it's growing. I mean, maybe this is going to grow in later. I don't know. Like, maybe it's just going to sprout later in the season. But, is that right? Should that look like that? Is that broken? I think something's going on here. Hopefully this is something that grows out, for lack of a better word. That at some point this field does kind of straighten out and everything works properly. But for now, I don't know what's happening. It looks like it looks like tram lines were activated maybe when Courseplay was working or maybe when the hired worker was working, but I don't know. I thought I was pretty serious about like preventing that from happening. That I don't know. We'll give it one more season. If it doesn't smooth out after one more season, I don't know. Then we'll give it one more season. What are you going to do? And what else is going on? I realized, and we can take a look when we head back down that way, but I realized that the merino sheep are eating from the pasture. And I believe when it rains, their trough fills up. Their water trough fills up. Maybe not all the way, but a little bit. So we do have plumbed in water at our wool operation. But I haven't been having to add water on days that it rains. Could just be coincidence or I'm not noticing it, but I don't know. I think they have that mod built into the map as well. Pseudonyms. A grasshopper type. Man, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm really not. But once again, I have no idea what you're talking about. I want to know what you're talking about. I just don't know what you're talking about. All right, let's get backed up in here. I'm going to try to do this third person. See how we're doing here. All right. Not exactly centered, but we got it in there. All right. And now this thing does have... Let's take a look outside. At the moment, it does not have... I don't see a dome up there for like a GPS aerial. I don't see one. So let's just do it manually. Try to do it by eye. I mean, we'll have the mini map down there, which is sort of cheating, but you know what? It's just a game. It's just pixels. All right, here we go. Oh, that is turning like super bright, happy green. Look at that. I think we're gonna get these levels up to exactly where they need to be and have a massive yield for our second cut. And I'm hoping we get a third cut as well. That would be fantastic. So right, what else is going on? MXGP 20 drops tomorrow, and I'm not buying it. I took a look at some, I don't know. Well, I've been reading the reviews, and I took a look at some early access gameplay, and I'm not buying it. It looks like they have put in some permanent sort of inside berms. I mean, I guess the game used to have ruts, and ruts are a massive part of motocross, to the point where motocross riders, in all disciplines, will go out during practice and attempt to make a rut on their preferred line. Right, so as they're going through a turn, they'll roost it a little bit in a low gear to try to dig a rut, right? And that's their rut. Now, other people may use it, but that's their preferred line. It's a really big deal. And I guess the MXGP franchise used to have ruts, and now they don't, and nobody knows why they took them out, but they took them out. So they do have some big sort of fake inside berms that it looks like maybe you could G off of a little bit, try to get some compression and kind of blast out of there. But for the most part, it looks like MXGP 19. And I don't know, man. I spend a lot of money on games. I really do. I love gaming, you know that. But I spend a lot of money, and I did see my total. I made the mistake of looking at my Steam total, all the money that I've spent on gaming since I got back into it 3 years ago, and it was a very surprising number. So I don't know that I necessarily want to spend any more money on games this year, because that would be my last title of the year, and I just don't know if I want to. Jaden, what's happening? How you doing? I just don't know if I want to. Not for that game. You know, if I was into, I didn't get Cyberpunk 2077, but if I was going to get a game like that, you know, that even with the complaints about Cyberpunk, I feel like it's a game you buy. Am I making sense right now? But I feel like MXGP 20 just sort of is not. Oh, I'm I'm a little miffed about TSW and TSW2. I bought all those DLC on day one for full pop. But I'm sort of pulling back from that. Although I am going to buy one more DLC on Thursday. It will be. We'll have TGV. French train. Alright. Let's get turned right down here. And we're going to run out of Fert on this field. So yeah, I'm going to take a pass on that. So I'm trying to read the chat and figure out what's going on there. I think I know exactly what's going on in chat right now, and I'm deciding what I want to do about it. All right, so right around here. And then right back up here. All right, here we go. And I thought we'd have to refill, but we were able to get this entire field done with one trip to the store. And I realized we've got some fertilizer down at the farm, so we can go load up there as well and use that. But this is, I'm going to check. Yeah. Jaden, are you all right, my friend? What's going on right now? All right. Right back through here. Close that. Let's take a look. All right. And this is, yep. That is as fertilized as it can get. Fantastic. So hopefully we can extend that out to 7.8 and 7.7 as well. All right, here we go. I still haven't figured out why this, to me, is a third-person game. And Cattle and Crops always seem more natural to play as a first-person game. All right, so if we want to go back in here now. Yep. Let's get these out of here. And I almost forgot I had these in here. But we can save a little money here. There we go. Try to do too many things at once here. All right, so that's there, that's there. All right, let's fill this up. And I don't know if this will all fit in here. We're probably gonna have to go back to the store one more time. Oh, look at that. 97%. Beautiful. We may have to go back to the store one more time. And I think, there it is right there. All right, so we'll get this done. I may speed time up a little bit, and oh, that's interesting. Nothing grew there. Curious. I may speed time up a little bit and take us through to either the next, I guess our next cut, our next grass cut, or we could sell some wool. We do need money. So maybe we'll go till we're not producing wool anymore, right? Till they're done for the year. Take that all down and sell it. I don't know. I mean, we're definitely going to speed through time and skip a couple days. I just need to figure out how many days I want to skip and what we want to do when we slow time down again. And if we cut this, I mean, last time we cut, we made silage bales. Ooh, our silage bales will be done. Yeah, because those had 70 hours 3 days ago. Okay, so we'll do that. We'll sell wool and we'll sell, come on now, little tractor. We'll sell wool and we'll sell silage bales because we need to explore the map a little bit and figure out where the sell points are anyway. So that, yep, that'll work out perfectly. Okay, there we go. There's our plan. And what's the easiest way to do this? I mean, if we were to drive down, we could put, we could drive down there, hook up a trailer, and then put this spreader on the front and drive back with it. Try to save one trip. Yeah, we may do that. All right. Formulating a plan. It's always different every day. That's what I love about FarbSim. Always problems to solve. I think I don't know what that means, Jaden. What does that mean? All right, and we may, maybe we don't have to refill because field 7-7 is about the same size as this one. You know, I've done, I did race videos in the past. They didn't do super, super well. And now that I'm streaming, I'm not sure how to stream racing because I can't really talk while I'm racing. And also my wheel makes a lot of noise. So I don't know if it'd be a good fit. I want to. I definitely want to. I just don't know if that's something that would ever be a good fit for the channel. feel like the... Come on. There you go. I feel like the farm and the trucks are where it's at. I feel like that's what resonates with people the most. And we did Flight Sim yesterday. Got some views, but not too many likes, you know? So, and I take that feedback to heart. If you're not into Flight Sim, you know, if you're not into racing, I don't want to stream things that you're not into watching, but I do want to mix it up. I don't want it to be farm sim only. I feel like there's enough other sims that I love playing. Try not to box myself in. All right, that is 2 grass fields done. Let's go get number 3. Well, yeah, I mean... All right, and I'm curious about these little areas where it looks like it didn't grow. I don't know. We're running a mud mod, but I don't think it's like old school mud mod where you can turf the field and like tear the crops up. Unknown. All right, so I think we just go across the highway here. I call it a highway. Is it? Maybe that's more of a lane. I don't know. But we'll head over there. And we may get to a harvest today because I don't think we have anything left to do to our arable crops. We can't spread lime on them. I mean, we could, but I don't know. That doesn't seem right. And carefully. There we are. And they're good on Fert. So I think those are... done. All right, here we go. And we'll do the same thing. Just cut in a headland here so we've got some room to turn and then do lengths. And we came in here with over 50% in the hopper. So I think we'll be all right. We won't have to refill. Yeah, there's our animals eating from their own pasture. I feel like that needs to be in base game. There's a lot of things that could be in base game. I feel like that could be in there as well. And tram lines. Proper tram lines. And maybe a little bit better GPS. Man, I don't know how the licensing works with modders. I mean, when you write code, when you write an app or program or whatever, you've written it so regular copyright laws apply. Same as if you'd written a story or a poem or a book or whatever. You wrote it, right? You own it. And there's some things that are different types of coding where you're going to have to duplicate somebody else's code because that's the language you're writing in. You know, there may be sections of overlap, but it's like the spirit of the intent, right? What is it that this code is designed to do? So it's like writing music. You know, you can use the same notes as somebody else. Maybe you just can't put them in exactly the same order. So when it comes to, you know, Giants bringing in the functionality of mods without like getting into copyright infringement and intellectual property, I feel like there are times when they can't necessarily use like a mod functionality that someone else created because there's no way to code it without copyright infringement. I'm not saying that properly, but I think you see what I'm getting at. Oh, careful. So maybe there's stuff they would bring in if they could, but they would have to license it from the modder. I never figured out seasons though, because I don't know, like, did they pay Realismus, right? Are they paying a fee to have that in the game, or I don't get how it works. Because it would seem like since Seasons is a free mod, right? It would seem like they would be able to license it from Realismus. I don't want to say without paying anything, but without... It's not like it's a big for-profit mod and Realismus is making a ton of money from it and then have to pay like outrageous fees or something. I would think the fees would be pretty modest. You know? I don't know. I don't fully understand like all the inner workings of how that happens, but you would think they could bring some of those mods in base game. Anders, what is happening? How you doing today? How's your week going? And we are... Oh, we did really good. We still got a third of a hopper. All right, so we'll take this back. We'll drop it off. I was trying to figure out how we were going to drive back to the store and get this up here still loaded. But I don't think we'll have to now. Okay. Good, good. Glad to hear it. Yeah, I'm getting just a little bit of like, I don't know, it's not quite a micro freeze. I don't even know if you're seeing it on your end, but I'm getting just a little bit of micro freeze. All right, Jaden, take care. So we'll go in here. I'm just going to leave this where it was before. And yeah, I don't think we're producing wool anymore. So we can sell those. I mean, we can sell them either way. All right, so we'll take this back here. Unload that. And we want now... let's lease something. And I am going to lease something with auto load. I know. I'm going to lease something with auto load because I'm just not feeling it. All right. What do we want? I think this is... Dolly trailer in its own way would be better on this map because of how tight it is. I think we can do okay with that. And I'm not going to paint it up or anything. Yeah, of course I am. Why not? And we'll go with JCB yellow. Like that. Nokia tires. We do want that. We do want that. Standard capacity. We do want that. Okay. 1,000 pounds. That's not bad. That's not bad. All right. So let's get that going. And we'll take a look at our bales on the way down. But I'm 100% confident they are ready to go. I want to say we calculated about 20 grand for those, and I think we've got about 20 grand for wool as well. So hopefully in the next half hour or so we can be at plus 40,000, which works because we're a little bit light right now, and we do have to lease a combine harvester. We'll probably have to lease it twice because our canola and our wheat will come in at different times. And then we'll need to lease a rake and a baler and various other things. We can maybe skip the rake for the straw, but we would have to make a lot of extra passes if we were just baling behind a very small combine harvester, which is what I'm probably going to lease. I mean, if there's a way to time it. Yeah, this is when I get into like the mathematics of farm sim. If there's a way to time it so that we are raking grass at the same time as we're raking wheat straw, then we could do it with one rental. But I think they'll be available at different times. Like, I think the grass will be up first, and we want to mow it as soon as it's up because, let's confirm that these are ready. We want to mow it as soon as it's up because, whoa. All right. These are very, these triggers are very oddly placed. Yeah. So we're in the trigger right now. We were. There we go. All right. We were in the trigger. Sigh. What was I upset about? Oh, right. Trying to time it. I mean, I want to mow the grass as soon as we possibly can so we can try to get a third cut. But if the wheat's not up yet, you know what I mean? Silage. Beautiful. All right, let's go pick up our trailer. I know we can sell the wool, but we can sell the silage as well. And we do have to figure out where, because I don't know where at the moment. All here. I got a bunch of holiday mods. I got the gingerbread shack and the snowman and a couple others. And they will be in next stream. I was going to bring them in today, but it's a little bit early. So we still got 10 days to go. But I will bring those in. And, yeah, nothing else. I was trying to think of things like what's going on and what news I've heard about gaming, but things have been pretty slim lately. This is going to be, well, in my industry, this is like the silly season. From pretty much the week before Thanksgiving when people start traveling. I know less people traveled this year than last year. But when people start traveling the week before Thanksgiving to about mid-January, for like 2 months, there's really not a lot of business going on in America. There's a lot of retail going on. But people are out of the office. People are taking vacations. People are using, whoa, easy. It's going so fast right there. People are using vacation days, trying to get them used up before the end of the year. And then right after first of the year is when people are doing budget and inventory and maintenance, right? Because everything's closed down, so they're doing work on facilities, forecasts and budgets and all that sort of stuff. So there's not a whole lot going on. No, I have not seen it yet, but I will check it out. Oh, and we're standby. Let's drop this. Least items. Yeah, we're done with this. There it goes. All right. You know, I was hoping that it did. I was hoping that it was more than just a gimmick, and I think it is. I think it's got some good functionality to it. Happy with it so far. And I'm really curious. Somebody else pointed it out to me. I hadn't really thought about it until they did, but somebody mentioned that once modders get a hold of this, they're going to really go nuts. And I'm looking forward to that. I want to see if we do get combination fertilizers, if the code is able to handle that calculation and apply it in the appropriate amounts. All right through there. Because I think all it would take is adding a third fertilizer type, because we've got nitrogen, we've got chalk, so we would need to add potassium, right? But if the other two layers are in, then it would seem like, and again, I may be oversimplifying this, but it would seem like it's easy enough for a modder to just duplicate one of those layers, give it a new name, and add some other values. Yeah, I think so. I think so. All right, so carefully, right through there. Yeah, I'm sorry if I seem a little scattered today. I'm trying to figure something out in real time, and that can cause some pauses in the narration from time to time. All right. So right in here. Oh, I got new drivers this morning for my graphics card, and I noticed that Ansel is not working at the moment, and filters are sort of screwy. So we'll see if that's something that gets sorted out next set of drivers, or if that's something I need to sort out manually. I don't use it too often, but I do use it periodically for thumbnails. Now, I was using filters in this game for a while, but what I noticed about them, and we want to be, let me see, we want, is it Z? There we go. We want 1.3 round bales. Yep, and then work mode will be on. I think. There we are. All right. Now, where do we sell these things? Yeah, I agree, Anders. I think they are. And I don't know. I don't know what direction they were going. We're looking for barn. It is right there. All right. So here's our barn, and we get there. We're going to go, let me see. We're going to go out here. We're going to make a right, then another right, then another right, and then a left. All right. You know, Anders, I think about motion blur and how every game developer is like, look at the motion blur. Look at all our motion blur. And gamers are going in and turning it off. Like, yeah, man, I get it. I get it. Motion blur, great. And I really think sometimes that some of the gimmicks or being able to add like the newest and greatest graphical features doesn't necessarily improve the quality of a game. It might not make it look better. It might not be appropriate for some sims. You know? And that's, oh, you know what? Hang on. Before we go any further. Stand by. What? Oh, what? Hang on. Moment, please. I was just thinking we need to strap these down. Oh, it's all kicking off. Now what do we do? Hang on. I was just thinking we need to strap these down before they go flying everywhere. And sure enough. All right. So we want to turn work mode off, and then we want to unload and put the straps on quick. Yep, there we go. And the reason I wanted to do that is with any type of auto load trailer, when it's in auto load mode, the bales have no weight. The bales have no weight, so there's no possibility of flipping. But once you unload and make them bales again, the trailer does have mass. So there we go. Feeling better about that. All right. I use auto load, but I don't want to abuse it, you know? Lucky me. Why am I lucky? I mean, I can think of several reasons, but specifically, why am I lucky? What was I ranting about? What was I upset about? Oh, game developers, when they sort of layer on effects. All right, I got you. When developers layer on graphical effects that may not be appropriate for a game, just to sort of show that they can, you know, HDR or I don't know, whatever. So I do think more is not always better, and in some ways it sort of turns me off when I see that, because it's like, what are you trying to hide? You know, what is it that you don't want me to notice about your game? I know Fried, I think. Yeah, Fried. I don't know if you're here today, but I know Fried was on a quest to finish Cyberpunk 2077 super quickly, and he did. He said it's a great game, but it does have a lot of bugs, and it does need optimized. But it's like there's nothing in the story that needs to be like covered over. The story is fantastic. So when there's any type of I don't know, I don't want to say like deception or anything, but I feel like some developers, if they know their product is not super solid, they just try to, like, you know, it's like those prototype cars at the auto show. They look great, just don't try to open the door because it'll fall off in your hand. The whole thing is just made of plastic. It's not real. You can't drive it. So it looks good. There's nothing to it, you know? And I feel like there's some games that are like that as well. If we just put enough flash on the outside of it, if we just put enough polish on it, people won't notice that the story sucks and the gameplay is boring. All right, and I think we want to make this right here as well. Through here. What is happening? That was okay. That was interesting. But I did swing it wide. This map is as tight as it was in 17. Tesco. I don't know what that means. I mean, I know what Tesco is, but in this context, I don't know what that means. Yeah, Anders agreed. Agreed. And, you know, I've noticed that a lot of Sims... We're going to swing this one even wider. I feel like a lot of Sims... I know Tesco is a superstore. I'm just curious why you said Tesco. I've noticed a lot of Sims, I feel like they go the other way and are almost intentionally stripped down. You know, and like you said with Sims, you know, there is no story. That's fantastic, Lily. Wait for a nice break here. Oh, and then we got hit by a cement truck. You know, like in Farm Sim, there's no story at all. It's whatever story you want to make. I know people, I've seen YouTubers that they start a series by like, well, my Uncle Pete can't work the farm anymore, so he called me. I was living in the city, and he, you know, and it's this whole like role-playing thing. Hang on. Let's turn those on. Turn that on. This is Purbeck Valley, which was formerly Knaveswell. Right in here. Turn those off. And we got to swing a little bit, so we're going to wait till... this looks like a Volvo of some kind. We'll wait till they go by. All right. And we're third person. Turn those off. Now, what did we calculate? I always like to do this, see if my math is good. We said about 400 per bale. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. So 8 grand? You know, I find all hedges kind of look the same. I don't know what a Raleigh chopper is. And is this the trigger here? Hang on. We want zone markers. Let's see if we can figure out where these are. So that's going to be something else. Hang on. Is it right back here? Interesting. All right. You know, you're welcome to like this stream. I appreciate it. We get flipped around here. 8,000. So we want to be at about 27,000 if my math was right. There we are. Do I need to unstrap them? Oh, there they go. Looks like the trigger is a little bit further back than the marker. Yeah, 800 a piece. 27,000. Beautiful. Okay, so we know where this... We know where this trigger is now. I'll leave the door open. We're going to be coming back. If I can remember how to get back. So we go out this way. Out here and to the right. The stream is Tesco. Gotcha. All right. I mean, there's worse things. And then we want the first right down here, and then we'll make lefts. Whoa, don't take out the flower boxes. And then we'll make lefts all the way back around. Let's do, I'm not going to do all three of them. Let's just do one more load of bales and then take the wool down as well. I don't know where the spinnery is. Not yet. Oh, yeah? Well, welcome to the stream, Lily. Pip, pip, cheerio. They don't really say that, do they? I don't think they do. All right. Swinging it wide. Really? Stand by. I mean, did it not track at all? Let's back this up. Let's rewind and take a look at this from third person. Because I swung it wide. I swung it wide the other time too. I'm curious if this trailer is I mean, the wheels are really far back, so it may be tracking a little bit funny. But let's just break this down forensically and see what the hell just happened. Because we swung way out here. Right? Way out like this. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, then it hits right there. I mean, I don't think I could have gone out a whole lot wider. Because we're already out by the fence posts. You know what I mean? All right, I mean... Really? Son of a... Come on. I did, Ernie. Oh, now we got trouble. I did, Ernie, and I uploaded... I updated. Hang on, we got problems here. Yep. What in the world... I updated the 2500 sprayer. Do I have to swing out that wide? I suppose I do. I updated the 2500 sprayer. I updated the 3500 high spec. Yeah, Anders, I think dolly trailer is where it's at. I mean, it's tricky. I can back one up. It's just, it takes a couple swings sometimes. You know, it takes a little extra effort. Did not buy the tractor at Tesco. Sainsbury. And then a left here. Yep, a left here. And I'm looking for traffic, but there isn't any. I'm going to swing out almost all the way to this hedge. Yeah, and then it's... okay. So, I'm feeling like, you know, as always, I'm reluctant to blame something on a mod, but I'm feeling like the physics on this trailer is not not okay. And Ernie, I've got my own edited mod of the 4D Broen bale trailer, but it's not auto loading, and at the moment I'm just not feeling it as far as manually loading bales. So we do have an auto loader. I thought about putting the auto loader script on there, but I feel like that's, you know, that's going too far. Like, I added some LED lights to it, and swapped out the taillights and made a couple minor mods. But I feel like putting auto load on a 4D trailer would just be sort of disrespectful to the modders. Yeah, I think there is, Anders. Oh, and you know what? I'll take a look because this is the Farmer Andy pack, and he's a really solid modder. But I haven't updated it, well, since the last time I played. So I haven't updated it in a year. So let's get this updated. And that'll be for next episode. Let's get it updated and see if that helps at all. But I'm always hesitant to blame a modder, you know, and just sort of instinctively say like, oh, this mod is broken or this is all messed up or something. That's typically not the case with serious modders, and Farmer Andy's a pretty serious modder. Lily, I am on PC. Yeah, it's an odd trailer. The wheels are set really, really far back, and it's got a very long tongue. Carefully. I'm driving a little fast, too. I'm flustered. I don't know if you can tell. All right. Just clip the hedge a little bit. Yeah, I'll take a look and update these. For the most part, I think my mods are pretty much up to date because I'm using so many from the mod hub. But there are a few that haven't been updated in a year since the last time I played. Whoa. Carefully. Yeah, I'm really going to try not to get the new consoles this year. I don't want to spend the money, honestly. I really don't. And I feel like that's all I would end up doing, you know. Well, because I need to get the console. Wait. Oh, these fell off the back. Interesting. So typically, hang on. So typically with auto load, right? Like once it's full, like right now, they would be script locked onto. Interesting. They would be script locked onto the trailer and couldn't fall off. I feel like this may be a little bit more comprehensive. So we want to go here and here, and then quickly get the straps on. File, I'm sorry, fix attacher joint rotation is the name of the mod. All right, man, I will check it out for sure. And that is in the store, that is in the mod hub. Lily, I don't know what a Raleigh chopper is. I don't know what a Raleigh chopper is. All right. Right through there. Well, yeah, I figured it's a bike, but I mean, what makes it a Raleigh chopper? What is? I don't understand that. Like, is it a type? Is it a brand? Is it a nickname? And then we'll do, we've got what? 6? We've got 6 or 8 wool pallets. At least 6. And I think this thing will hold 6. It's a type and brand. Okay, right on. I only ever rode sport bikes, so I'm not up on the chopper technique. I don't know choppers at all. I thought about getting an Exile when I lived in LA, but 75 grand for a motorcycle is, I don't know, that's a bit much. Right through there, right through there. And we did, whatever that stuttering was earlier has worked itself out. I think eventually Windows bumps everything back up to high priority for games and gets turbo going on the processor and everything else. But initially, like when you're tabbing back and forth through Windows, I feel like Windows 10 doesn't know what you're doing. In base game, there's a lot of space between the tires and the drawbar. This mod gets rid of that space. Oh, like an invisible collision? It's a bicycle. Oh, okay. When you said a bike, I thought you meant a motorcycle. That's the only chopper I've ever known of. Okay. All right. All right, that's a little different. Okay, Raleigh bicycles. Yeah. Okay, I've heard of them. Familiar with the brand. I didn't know they made choppers. Need to look for it on Google. Okay. I will try to remember to do that. So now what? We need to swing as wide as possible. Because I feel like this gate and then the next one. Made in the 70s. Okay. Before my time. Did I miss the turn? What? I think I might be lost. Am I? No, we're making our turn here. Okay, here we go. Right, right. Okay. Well, then it was before your time, too. All right. How wide can we swing this turn? I'm going third person. Here we go. Zooming out. How wide can we swing this turn? Out to the hedge. All right. Not quite that wide. How wide can we swing this turn? Yeah. Do you see that understeer right there? Total snowplow. Sigh. Come on, Gabe. Help me out here. I mean, we made it through here once, although, in fairness, we did hook the hedge on the right. Pretty bad the first time we came through. We'll go out this way. Any better? Yeah. We need to go... Well, we need a smaller trailer for one thing, and we need a dolly as well. Crankshaft got fixed. So you test rode it. Hell yeah. You got a test ride. I was an avid cyclist for many years. So I'm with you on that. Even in cold weather. Cold weather is cyclocross weather. All right, and this is the other problematic one. We got to go way out here into the weeds. And then cut it back. There we go. And I think we're almost there now. No. You're never too old. You're never too old for anything. All right, right through there. I would say most of me still feels 17, except for my knees. There's been a lot of skiing and a lot of mountain biking on my knees, and they are going to need to be replaced at some point. They're going to need to be replaced. What music am I into? I don't know, just about everything. Just about everything. There's no particular genre that I gravitate to. All right. Kind of an odd trigger. All right. It's another, that's a lot. Because we were at 765. Yeah, so 9 grand, 10 grand. Okay. Here we go. Back to Iron Maiden. Classic metal. Can't go wrong. So we'll go right here. Turn those on. Turn those on. Come over here and be a good citizen. Be a good neighbor. Close the gate. All right. Back in here. Turn those off. Turn those off. Here we go. Oh, that's not bad. What condition are they in, and do you plan on keeping them, or restoring them, or selling them, or riding them? What is the goal for those? Right up here. Just ride them? Yeah, that's what they're for. Really? I mean, I know it's a tight map, and I'm trying to allow for that, but I feel like the amount of distance that I need to leave is just, I can't quite wrap my brain around it. It's not the map's fault. It's my fault. I'm just embarrassed that I keep clipping things. Trailer's a little bit too big, but I'm not driving this tight map properly. All right. So we need to go out here, all the way out here, all the way out here, and then cut it. Yeah, I feel like it just, we're gonna hit the gate here. I feel like when we cut it hard like that, for some reason it understeers. It just snowplows the tiniest little bit. All right. So we're going to the barn now. We'll pick up our wool, get that sold, and I think we can then return the trailer and speed through a couple days and see what happens with our grass. Oh, and we have to keep our animals fed too. REA mod is what's causing the understeer, Anders. I am still using REA. I uninstalled the dirt color mod because it was leaving one wheel. Right, you get 3 wheels with dirt on them and one without. Couldn't take it. Yeah, I think it might be. It might be. But you know what I need to do is I need to see if this Fleagle pack updated. I think it did. I mean, I'm sure it has in the past year. All right, so we're going back into that corner. Or we're going to try to. So we want to go here now. We want pallets. Pallets. There's pallets. Work mode is on. We may not be able to get back there tight enough. Let's hope. Yep, no problem at all. So same thing, we'll unload. And then we will put the straps on. Strap it down tight. All right. So now we want to figure out where the spinnery is. I don't know where it is. So we'll go here. here. Same place. Yep, the same little complex. Okay, well, I mean, at least we know where it is. And it's quick enough to get there. I'm going to go a different way so we can avoid these two turns. Because if you look at this one here, right in the center here, it's a little bit more than 90 degrees. So if we go the other way, that's 90, but we know we can get through there. It's tight, 90. Yeah, let's go the other way. Here we go. Man, I'm really curious what happens with... I'm really curious what happens with Field 37. I have no idea whether that's ever going to grow or not. Grew up without computers. What? I am amazed that there are people that are alive today that don't know what a CD is. But somehow they know what records are. I feel like I was right on the edge of the generation that we still had to decide what music to listen to, because we got it. You bought music at the store, right? So you couldn't have an infinite amount of music. It was expensive, and there was no place to keep it all. So you had to be selective about what kind of music you bought, and you typically bought the music you liked, right? So that's what kind of music you like. What kind of music do you listen to? Now, what kind of music do you listen to? Kids are like, what do you mean kind of music? I just listen to everything, because they really do have access to like every record that was ever recorded. They just have access to, you know. I don't think they know there was a time when you had to pick and choose what you wanted to listen to. You couldn't just listen to every genre in equal amounts. 200 floppy disks. What was on your 200 floppy disks? I'm curious. All right, so I think once we make this turn, we're just going to drive straight up. And when we get to the spinnery and drop this off, I'm going to get rid of the trailer. I've been doing that a little bit. I typically don't. You know, I like to take things back and return them. But I've been... This save game has been a little bit... you know what I mean? We've been on that struggle bus. I know what a floppy disk is. I'm just curious what you had on 200 of them. And what was the storage capacity? I mean, you talking about the ones that were like just a couple of meg? Or more than that? Cole, how you doing? Welcome to the stream, my friend. Look at this Prius. Looks like they just got brand new tires. They still got the stickers on them. I know there was... I can barely remember... the first 1 gig hard drive, and I remember people being like, what do you need a 1 gig hard drive for? What are you going to put on a hard drive that needs to be a gig? And I just went and bought 2 Samsung 2 terabyte SSDs. Put a floppy in to store pictures. Wow. Yeah, it's amazing. Technology is amazing. You can even see stuff on Netflix from just a few years ago, and they had flip phones. I mean, seriously, like from the early 2010s, I guess, was like the last era of the flip phone, and it's been smartphones ever since. Metal is amazing, Lily. Big fan. All right, and I think, yep, this is where we come out. So here's our store right here. The Sony Mavica. The only thing I remember like that from Sony was Sony had a mini disc system. And I remember one of my friends had the Sony mini disc system, and he would put like a $high microphone down each sleeve and take his Sony mini disc player to raves and try to record the rave. And I'm like, man, your arms are flapping all over the place. You gotta like put that microphone on a stand with like a windsock on it. You know, you gotta do it proper. What are you doing, man? But he thought he was a bootlegger. He's gonna record raves. Listening to Chris Ray. Riding your chopper. You sound like a bit of a hoodlum, Lily. Not that there's anything wrong with that. All right, so we can close this door now. Yeah, the Sony mini disc was that was a big deal. I think this is it over here. Do we have to open this door as well? I see. This door looks like a door you can open. It is not. All right. This looks like you had a Tesco life. I mean, could be worse. We're looking for another trigger. Is it across the street? It's not back here, is it? Bail trigger. Where you at? Is it over here? I mean, it says it's like directly across from the biogas, so like right back here somewhere. Right back here. But I don't see, we still have the triggers turned on, right? Yeah, triggers are on. I don't see it back here anywhere. But this building looks different. Hey, thanks, Lily. I appreciate it. Thanks for checking out the stream. See you next time. Or do they want us to drive all the way around the back of it? Ah. Uh-huh. That might be it back there. All right, well, we'll just drive around a little bit till we can find it. That's a nice little model right there. Looks super tech. All dieseled out. All right. No, we're not driving through here. I don't think we can. Yeah, there's no place we can fit through here. All right, so this is strictly just visual back here. All right. How did we get back here? Or is there a door or something? Oh, you're right. It does. I mean, it looks like it's right back here somewhere. So let's just... Maybe right here? Oh, yeah. There it is. Stand by. Uh-huh. Trickery. Next question. Do we have to lift them up onto that loading dock? Golly, I hope not. All right. So we are at 35K. Let's see how we do. I'm not 100% confident this is even going to work. I feel like we're in a bad spot. Nope, it's taking a beautiful 35,000 to... Oh, really? Come on, Gabe. Meet me in the middle here. $35,000 to $44,000. So really only 10,000. I thought it would be closer to 20. I really did. Okay. But you know what? Money's money. It's nothing to complain about. All right. So we're going to drop this. Avert your eyes. Don't look. All right. That's gone. What? That's not gone. All right. No, it's not. Oh, and before I forget, let me go here and here and here for the immersion. Here we go. So now, so now that the trailer is off, let's head back to the farm. I mean, I thought that trailer was small enough. I think it was a little too big. But we'll know for next time. We'll go either a dolly trailer or carefully either a dolly trailer, or we'll update that Farmer Andy pack and see if those handle any better. All right, back into the T6. Turn those off, turn those off. Here we go. So I think I'm going to go all the way back to the farmhouse. And in fact, I can speed up time right now. Let's go back to the farmhouse. We're going to have to skip a couple days. That's always a kind of a pain in the ass because we're just like standing there watching the clock spin. But we're going to skip forward 2 days and see what happens on the 4th day of summer. I mean, I don't want to call it right now. We've been going less than an hour and a half. We go longer than that. So let's... Yeah, there's that turn that kept getting me. Oh, how embarrassing. And we will have to feed our animals. But we've got that spike we can do that with. Carefully. Yeah, that trailer was, I'm very reluctant to say there's anything wrong with it, and it's not broken as far as I know. It's just got some unusual handling to it that I wasn't quite used to. Which is not, I'm not making excuses. I'm the pilot, that's on me. But I try to drive better than that. Is there any way to edit the season in a save game? Now, when you say edit, what do you mean? And are we... Oh, yeah, there it is. I was trying to remember how far it was to the farm. A little bit closer than I thought. Jump into summer. Yeah, I think because it sort of changes out some values every night, there's really no way to do that without manually configuring those values. All right. So let's... So we want... not the wrapped bale fork. Moment. Pallet fork, bale fork. And then we want to... What are we looking for here? There we are. And, of course, no perspective. Can we... Hell yeah, we can. Beautiful. So, and then up and... Okay, so that's the whole thing up and down. So we're going to go... Interesting. Okay. So I think if we just, like, we can test it right now. I think if we just lower that and then tilt it back a little bit, we can lift this with the bale on the front, no problem. So I'm going to do that. I mean, I'd like it on there a little bit more. Hang on, let me use the wall here. There we go. All right. And I'm going to, let's pull this under cover right now. Take a look at how our animals are doing. All right. So there's that. So if we go over here, I don't think they're going to make any more wool this year. If we go over here, how are we doing on water? Pretty good on water. Yep, 94%. All right, let's go get some sleep. We'll see how our wool is tomorrow. Feed the animals, and then we'll skip through, what, one more day after that? Yeah, I agree, Anders. I think that should be an option as well. Because I think with animals now, and with animals having different seasons, and also with wanting to prep fields, you know, I mean, it's a natural starting point. I get it. But I think you should be able to determine when you want to start. It doesn't seem like it would be that much of a problem to do it that way. And if you started in summer, you wouldn't have any crops in the field, obviously. In the same way that you don't have anything in the field when you start in the spring. But if you wanted to start in the winter, buy animals and have them calve in the spring, I think you should be able to do that. This is perfect. So I'm going to speed up time. We're on 120. I'm going to have some water so I don't get too dry. Fantastic. The world's loudest water bottle. All right, so, and what, yeah, while that's spinning, let's take a look at some stuff here. So we are, a little bit low on 3.7 and 7.7, and then on 1.7.2 and 6. Everything is perfect there. Now, I saw this yield calculator, and it's only active for field 4.0 and 7.8. I don't know why. I don't know why that is. I think it's because they're grass fields, and these other fields were seeded before we had precision farming. I don't know. Like 3.7, 1.7.2, and 6 were all planted before we had the mod installed. I don't know. But I am curious what our yield is. And it looks like the highest you can go is 125%. Whereas it used to be 200. So I feel like what they're doing with fertilizer now is if you don't fertilize properly, you get penalized, rather than the other model where if you fertilize properly, you got a bonus. I mean, it's 6 of one, half dozen the other, depending on what the base yield is. The grass mowing mod. Is that for the animals, do you mean? Because it looks like the animals... This is interesting. What's this? Oh, yeah. I've got... It looks like the animals are eating from the pasture, but I haven't installed any mods to do that. And I don't know... The grass is always mowable? Oh, right, right. Yeah, we could mow it now. But it's not... It's only orange. It's not gold yet. No, reverse that. It's gold. It's not orange. So if we go here... It's nothing right now. It's not even yellow. I can sell milk here. Wait a minute. What? 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100 So rather than... Ooh. Ah. Okay. I mean, what is this thing? Looks like we've got something to do till it's time to sleep. Okay, I feel like we can't really... Yeah, it's not letting us do a whole lot with this. So we can rotate that. Q and E. All right. I don't know exactly what this thing is. If you're too lazy to cart milk, do you get the same price for it? I mean, I wouldn't say that I'm lazy. I like to think of myself as efficient. I like to have my milk sale point right next to a couple drums of fuel. I find that really enhances the flavor. Oh, interesting. Okay. The controls are reversed. Like it didn't... I can only place it once. I was thinking right back here, out of the way. Right back here somewhere. Right? Stays there for the rest of the game. Oh, I'm nervous. I mean, what do you think? Is right there good? I'm going to risk it. Confirm. This feels like a similar kind of script to contact. It feels like a similar kind of script to the animal trough watering, right? Plumbing in the pipes, same kind of deal where it's there when you start the game, but you have to move it around and decide exactly where you want it. Okay. I mean, if the price is the same, I'll use that. But if we get better price if we deliver it by hand, then let's deliver it. And it's a little bit after 8 p.m. Oh, really? Okay. What is that? The extended animal pasture mod? There we go. Sleep through the night. So if that's in there, day 2. Okay, so if that's in there, I'm going to let time continue spinning. But if that's in there, then somewhere around here should be plumbing for our cows to get water. Let's go find that and get that installed as well. Just some things that we can do while we're trying to skip days. And I mean, I know this is why a lot of YouTubers do not use, there it is, don't use seasons. But I like seasons too much. All right, customize. So we're going to move this over. Rotate. Oh, and it's got scale now too. Interesting. Right. Oh, and we pick our color. They've really expanded this mod. So 90 degrees, beautiful. So we'll go right here. Yeah, I agree. That's a nice detail. So this can go right over here somewhere. Design color. Well, you can't have a red water pipe. Hang on. Yellow. Let's go blue. Blue for water. Now, it says there is scaling as well. Down at the bottom, it says scale 100%. And that's the camera. Let's rotate. Move. Okay. Well, it's not super critical. Next object. There we go. I feel like every map maker and everybody who writes a geomod for seasons, they've all got different ideas about like how much animals eat and drink. And I feel like a lot of map makers, a lot of modders, it's either too high or too low. I've had real farmers tell me some of the numbers in this game. I mean, I get it. It's a game and it needs to be... It can't be 100% realistic. There've got to be exceptions that are made. I get that. But that some of the amounts are just ridiculous. All right. Water is unavailable because we don't have animals. Okay. Well, that took us to 3:30 in the afternoon. So, let's see what else we can find here. There was one other field that I was looking for. I never did find it. There is. Yeah, I don't know. I'll make some adjustments to a map, but when I do, I always feel like I'm tempted to like make it too easy for myself. Even if I'm not trying to, I worry that I will. You know, even if I'm just trying to whatever, adjust it, balance it, you know, I worry that I'll make it too easy. Oh, this is that little passage I was looking for. Yep. I remember this passage from 17 with the mud mod, or from 15 with the mud mod. And when this was muddy, good luck. Oh, this is such a cool map to have back. I'm really glad we got Knaveswell back. Perfect timing as well. I don't know when the Western Shore V2 is going to be done. So it's awesome that we've got a nice British map to play on. I think this is my favorite style of map. I really do. I've tried all of them. Man, I really like PGR Brewsda. I find that map makes me kind of sad when I play it. It's like so lonely, and it really feels like DayZ. It feels like Chernobyl when I'm on PGR Brewsda. I don't know. It's not the most uplifting map. And what was the other one we played that was like that? Domus Laskowitz. I don't know if this game will ever have... for one thing, I don't know if the code will permit it, but I know they're always trying to save resources and make the game play as fast as possible. But I don't know if we will ever have a real living map, you know, with people sort of going about their business. I know we've got some people kind of walking around in the downtown area, but it's got a really artificial feel to it, you know. But I don't know if this map would ever... Like, I get it. It's not going to feel like Watch Dogs. I know. But that there would just be more life on the map, and that we would feel like we were in a community and sort of participating in something rather than just being the last person on Earth. Six ashes. I don't know what that is. Is that a map? All right, I'm looking like... It's looking like It's a map? Okay. Farm Sim 2021. I don't think we're getting it. I really don't. I think we are... what do I want to do? Oh, let's do this while we're waiting as well. Because we've got... Down here... We've got pigs. So let's find the water trough here. I don't know if we're going to get FS 2021. And like earlier when I started the video, I said I'm not getting MXGP 20 tomorrow because I've heard the reviews and I've seen gameplay of it, and apparently it's just MXGP 19. And I know that. I sort of expect that from Milestone. Not necessarily in a bad way, not really in a good way either. It is what it is. You know, it's a franchise title, same as Madden. So I sort of expect that from Milestone, but apparently this is like worse than usual. And I wonder sometimes why more developers don't just go with annual updates, right? Well, the SCS model, basically, what Truck Sim does. They keep the game as up to date as they can. They do sell DLC for money, But I feel like until there are fundamental changes in, and we want Y. Let me go Y. Until there's fundamental changes in Truck Sim, there's really no reason to release the next one. Just patch it, you know? And I think they could have, SCS could have compiled some of the graphical and sound changes that they've made to the game and released it as a new title. But it would have felt like bullshit. It really would have. I think people would have seen through it. It's not, the game is not fundamentally different. You've just added some features. And so what Giants, I think, I don't know this, I don't have any inside information, but I think what they realized was if they released FS 2021, it would be essentially the same as FS19. And they got so much shit for the way things went with FS19. I think they didn't want to risk it, you know. And I have to say, you know, good for them. It's tough to walk away from sales, basically. Like when you release a new game, you sell it, people buy it, you make money. You know, they had to step back from that. So props to them for doing that. I do think we're going to get more DLC. And I think the way that they have them priced, it doesn't feel like a scam. In the same way that SCS DLC don't feel like a scam. The trucks are free. Maps are, I'd say, 12 to 15. Right around there somewhere. And then their little sort of ticky-tack DLC are like $1.99 or $4.99 or something. And I buy those little DLC just to support the devs, but I feel like you really get your money's worth with Truck Sim. And if Giants can get to the same place where people feel like, yeah, I am buying DLC every 6 or 8 weeks for this game, but it's worth it. You know, it's $10 or it's $8 or it's $5. It's well worth it. You know, it comes out to $1 a week or whatever. I think that could be a good model until they have a new game, you know, FS20 whatever, that people look at and really feel like this is something significant and it's worth buying. Rather than, you know, it's been 2 years, give me another $40. That's what feels like a scam to me, is when I keep buying the same game over and over. And this year I bought MotoGP 20, which is very similar to MotoGP 19, almost identical. I bought Monster Energy Supercross 3, which is virtually identical to Monster Energy Supercross 2, and I got Ride 4, which is virtually identical to Ride 3. And it's like, I've already given you, you know, $150 this year, milestone, and you want me to give you another 40 or 50. You know, just wanted to pull back from it. But no, I think the DLC model, if it's done properly, I think it can not just feel like a value to a consumer, but I think it is a value to a consumer because you only have to get what you want, right? You're not locked into paying $50 for a game. Like in the case of Train Sim World 2, all the new DLC is only compatible with Train Sim World 2. You sort of had to buy it. And I do give Dovetail credit for converting over all of the previous DLC. We weren't just stuck with that after having just bought it. But I don't know, I felt sort of trapped into buying Train Sim World 2. And as expensive as those DLC are, you know, I'm not okay with that. Didn't have a good feeling to it. I really felt like they could have just renamed Train Sim World 2020 as Train Sim World 2 and sold the 2 new routes, Bakerloo and was it Cologne? Bakerloo and Cologne, sold those for $30. I feel like they would have had exactly the same result, but people would have been a lot happier and felt a lot better about them as a company. So we'll set this for 12 hours. Here we go. And let's see what the state of our crops is. Yeah, it's very true, Ernie. I think great demand at Sawmill. We got nothing to sell there. Okay, so I'm going to slow time down now. Let's take a look at our fields. And we'll give it just a minute or two to cycle through because it does take some time for things to process. Yeah, I think SCS has a fantastic model because you're never locked into buying anything. You don't have to buy things if you don't want to. And it's always on sale. I mean, you could probably get into, if you waited for the right time, you could probably get into Truck Sim for, I mean, everything, all the DLC. You could probably get into that for 60 or 70% off. I mean, it looks like, I don't know, man. What do you think is going on with this field? This is so weird. This says it's planted. That is the sowed texture. I don't know, man. That's very weird. We'll see if that cycles through when we harvest, or if it stays that way next time we plant it. I don't know. I think SCS could be the model for how companies do things. Now, I saw Electronic Arts just bought Codemasters, and Codemasters recently bought Slightly Mad. So I'm really curious to see. I mean, I know Electronic Arts is not strictly the evil empire like they used to be, but they're still pretty evil. And I know, I mean, from another perspective, I know a lot of people that really aren't too happy with Codemasters even right now, right? So it's like, well, how much worse could it get? So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it all works out. But I don't want to give my money to Electronic Arts, even if it's to buy F1 2021. All right, let's take a look here and see how we're doing. So these are, our grass fields now are light colored, right? So we could harvest those now if we wanted to. Everything else is still growing. Obviously, we can't harvest that yet. And if we go here, yeah, I have a feeling we need to go one more season and cycle this stuff through to get our yield sorted out. Because right now we are 65%. Now, is this going to bump up when it goes to the next growth stage? Unknown. Because it was technically, it was showing 65% before it had grown at all. So I don't know if it's forecasting that or showing what's actually in the field. All right. What do you want to do? I mean, we can't fertilize right now. There's nothing to plant. We could mow right now, but we'd be losing money because this grass is not as grown as it's going to be. But the only way to get around that would be we'd have to sleep through 3 more days. Why what, Anders? I don't know. I mean, I want to try to keep the episode moving, but there isn't anything to do right now. Put Fert on the grass. It's maxed out. When we go up here, I know it's really small to see, but lower right-hand corner, pH and nitrogen are both perfect. And when we go here, yeah, nitrogen is at, it's as high as it can go. And pH is exactly where it's supposed to be. So unfortunately, well, it's not that we can't fertilize. I think we just don't need to. So I think if we tried to apply fertilizer here, it would, if we had it in automatic mode, it would go to volume 0, level 0. So, well, we got 20 grand for those silage bales, and we probably had, honestly, 10 into harvesting it because we had to mow it, so we had to lease mowers. We had to rake it, right? So we had to lease a rake, and then leasing the baler, I think, was 5 grand because we got a wrapping baler to save some time. So if we did these 3 fields again, we'd spend 10,000 and make 20, so we'd net 10 with this volume. So I'd really rather wait. I mean, it kind of sucks. I don't know. If we were on Twitch, I'd say we could play a stream game, marbles or something. Yeah, Ernie, I agree. I would really love to see. Now, who is it that makes more realistic. I can't think of the modder's name off the top of my head. But I will always remember I saw in a thread he was talking, and he mentioned something about, you know, expecting unrealistic performance from tractors, and gave kind of a really over-the-top example. And I thought, well, I feel like your response is to make the tractors almost too realistic, right? It feels sort of spiteful. It feels like you're punishing people. You know what we can do? We can explore a little bit. It can feel like some modders are, to me, it almost has a feeling of like, oh yeah, well, I'm going to show you, you know, and I'm not assigning intent to modders. I'm certainly not saying that that is like 100% guaranteed. I'm just saying I get that feeling sometimes. And I know I've seen debates back and forth about seasons, and people have said, you know, there really needs to be a way to skip through winter. And Realismus pushes back and says, no, because, you know, farms have winter too. And it's like, well, yeah, I mean, I understand that in real life farms have winter, but this isn't real life, it's a game. So it doesn't have to be, you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be. All right, so we need water for our sheep. It doesn't have to be 100% realistic to be 100% fun. And just because it's not 100% realistic doesn't mean it's not realistic at all, or that people are cheesing the game, you know, or that that we're not playing fair. So I think a perfect compromise would be, in order to skip winter, you had to have certain amount of certain supplies put by, right? And if you had, go back here, if you had, still good on food. That if you had a certain amount of money to pay your employee all winter, and if you had a certain amount of consumables put aside. So if you're, right, like when we go here, it says estimated food required, 24,000. So if there was an estimate, what's a quarter of that? 6,000. 6,000 liters to make it from the last day of autumn to the first day of spring. As long as you have more than 6,000 liters, you're good, right? Same for cows, same for pigs, right? And then a certain fee to be applied per day. So if you have enough money to cover that. And then you can hit the button and it takes you all the way to the first day of spring. I would think that you could code that, but the impression that I got, and of course I could be wrong, but the impression that I got is Realismus doesn't want that, because the whole point is to force the game to be slow. And that is, and we've talked about that in stream before. The game can't be for the developer. The game can't be for the modder. The game has to be for the player. And I do think some developers get it in their head that because I created this game, because it's my baby, you'll play it my way. And somebody may be looking at it like, but that's not fun for me. And you have my money, right? You have my money. Why can't I play it the way I want? I think BeamNG is a perfect example. Some people play BeamNG as a race sim. Other people just set up elaborate scenarios and smash cars. You play it any way you want. So for the devs to come back, not that they would, I'm just using BeamNG as an example, but for the devs to come back and say, no, you can't set up crash test dummies and run them over anymore. This is a serious race game. Come on, man. Yeah, I would really love to see a way to skip winter, particularly if you have a lot of animals, because it's, you know, a 2-hour session may be taking care of animals, and on, well, we're on 9-day seasons, which is probably a mistake, but even on 6-day seasons, if you can only sim 2 hours a day, that means every session, every gaming session for a week, you're going to sit down and just feed animals, right? And okay, done. Got to help kids with homework. Got to make dinner. Got to do stuff. And I won't be able to game till tomorrow. And then tomorrow you sit down and do the same thing. I think it's a bit restrictive. I love seasons. I don't play without it. I don't think it's a bad mod, but that is one thing that I would really like to see different about it. And I guess we're just going to have to go on foot. Oh, no, we're not. No, we're not. Let's go feed some animals. And water some animals. I think we had 30 sheep. Now we have 28. I think that water trough might have been empty for a couple days. I think we had some sheep die. So yeah, this is what you're seeing right now. This is this is why streamers do not use seasons. But we're a different kind of channel here. You know, we do things our own way. And what I'm hoping is, because like you said, nothing happens and then everything happens at once. So what's going to happen is the canola is going to be ripe. And the grass is going to be ready to be cut. And it's going to start raining all at once. And we're once again going to have nothing to do. So let's feed these animals before I forget, and then we'll take a bale over. I think the bale is less critical than the water because they do have some food out there. Man, I've been playing Hunter Call of the Wild too much because I see those little sheep out there and I start estimating the range. Like, how far is that sheep? What is that, about 25 yards? What would the drop be at 25 meters? All right. I know a lot of games, I just saw it again on Cyberpunk 2077 has a streamer mode where it does have music in game, but it's all copyright free music. And that is amazing. It's an unbelievable level of like courtesy and consideration and just thinking ahead and planning ahead. Come on now. Oh, Gabe. All right, that's as low as we can go right there. Trying to scrape this thing off, and it's not scraping. So yeah, the way they have it set up is because there it goes. So initially, some developers had streamer mode, but it was just no music. But for something like Cyberpunk, I think they understand how critical music is for the vibe and the atmosphere. I mean, how much of that game takes place in clubs and bars and, you know. So they needed to have music. They just put in some cheaper is the best way to say it. They just put in some cheaper music, royalty free, copyright free, whatever. But it's really smart, and it to me it shows consideration and an awareness of the fact that, you know, we're making free advertisements for these games. All right, Anders, we're making free advertisements for these games, and I think smart developers understand that they can help the people that are making these ads for their games. All right, so that's 4. I'm gonna run back to the farm. We got one more day now. If we get through this next day and either the grass is not orange or the arable crops aren't ready to harvest, then unfortunately I'm going to have to call it. Because we're not going to speed through another 3 days. I wouldn't do that to you. But yeah, other than, I don't even know. I mean, we could go 6-day seasons, no doubt. And we may swap over to that during the winter when we don't have anything in the fields. We could do that, but there's really, unfortunately, no way to skip a lot of time when you're running seasons. I'm trying to think of anything else we could do. We set up the dairy. We set up the pigs. There is another. Yeah, once we speed through this day, there is one other wool area a little bit further south. So we'll speed through this night, and then we'll head down there, get that set up. And that will definitely take us to the following day. I know. I'm not happy about it either. But we'll get through it. I didn't see anything else down at the pigs, so there's this milk sell point. 6 day, yeah, I should have gone to 6 day when I was setting up the game. That's on me. I've tried 3 days. It's a little bit too quick, and I've seen some streamers go 3 day permanently at 15x time, but I find that gets a little, that's too fast for me. You know, trying to play a more realistic play style, I find that's just a little bit too fast. But I think that may be 3 days at 15x may be the perfect combo for streaming. So we'll do, let's do Truck Sim tomorrow. Because we've got, definitely got a DLC coming in for Train Sim World 2 on Thursday. So we'll do ATS tomorrow because we did ETS most recently. There we are. All right, so now we got to get to... Now we've got to get to down here. No, down here. Okay, so we're going to go this way. And it looks like it's up through the yard that we bought. Now, do we own it? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Did we buy this? No, we didn't. It's over here. 56? I mean, there's no reason to buy it because we don't need 2 wool operations. I was just curious what it would cost if we did want to buy it. But no, I think we're okay. Look at our guy running, man. This is some fitness. This is some farmer fitness. My man works out. So we'll get these pipes installed just in case. And so we stay busy. I wasn't really planning on buying this. I feel like this property is only going to be of any value to us if we build a BGA in it. I can't think what else we would build down there. Oh, interesting. They're selling that? It's not a bad thing. I'm not like offended or anything. I'm just curious. Do they finally have payware? Because I've always been amazed that a mod as big and comprehensive as Pro Mods is free. I don't know how they do it. And this is a new part of the map for us. We haven't been here yet. Is it down here? Sir? There we are. Oh, right. Yep, I always paid the fast download fee for Pro Mods. And it felt, even if I had to do it 3 or 4 times a year, it always felt like a bargain. There we go. There's object scale. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. Let's go 50% just to see. Nope. Lowest it'll let us go is 60. So we want to go over here now. Oh, no worries. And I think, let me take a look at one more thing because I think we can actually lower this as well. I see a height setting. Let's see if we can go back here. All right, that's 90. So if we go back here, object height, beautiful. Look at that. Sink it right down on the ground. That's fantastic. I love it. All right. Is that about right? Let's go up a little bit. Up a little bit. Can't have our nozzle down in the water. Is that about right? Right about there. Beautiful. All right, and then we accept. Yes. And I think that's us done. One more day. I keep hitting the wrong button. That's us done. One more day. So we'll go back here now. And then we want to go up here. Cross the highway. Let's see how our crops are doing. I hope they're done. I hope they're done. Because if not, like I said, I'm going to have to call it. And that means the past 20 minutes, we've just got nothing done. What are you going to do? All right, and it's just about 8 p.m. So we'll sleep one more time, see what the crops look like, and maybe we'll get some mowing done. So close. So close. Here we go. All right. So I'm going to slow things down. I'm going to, let's go take a look at our animals, just confirm everything's okay, and see how our crops look on the way past. Yep. We just got a new texture on our grass. So I think our grass is all the way grown now. So we can do a little mowing and compare the yield to last time. Because we got, probably 15 bales per field. Did everything just come ripe? I mean, I know that's going to turn gold before it's ready to harvest, but did that? Oh dear. What have we done? This was my concern, is that everything would come up at once. We'll take a look at the forecast and see if there's any rain predicted. Now what I would do is grab a combine harvester and use it today and then mow later, right? Because we mowed most recently. But if the canola and the wheat are up at different times. All right. More animals dying on us. All right, so there's that. And I want to check the forecast. So if we go here, they do have food. If we go here, if we go here. All right, there's no rain. Today is Tuesday, and there's no rain forecast till Sunday. So I don't think we need to worry about anything there. Now, if we go here, what do we got? Okay, so our canola did turn gold, but it's still green on the map, so it's not ready to harvest yet. But our grass is orange. So let's get some mowing done and see what kind of yield we get with good fert, good lime, plenty of water, and second growth stage. I will take this. Up right in there. Drop that. And we do need fuel, so we might do that now. What was the mod I needed to look up? Oh, I need to see if Farmer Andy updated the Fleagle trailer pack. All right, so we're gonna let that refuel, and that's gonna take a minute. So we'll come over here, and now we don't need to feed the animals, do we? No, they're fine. All right, so we'll let this refuel a little bit, and while we're doing that, we can go here. Mowers. What did we use last time? This one? Yeah, I think it was those two. Because 80 and 200, 280, we can't use that one. We tried that one, it was too big. So I think we used 2.4, 2.6. Nova Alpine. Nova Cat. What's the difference? 2.6 and 3.1. Is this one... I mean, I guess there's no difference really. 15 horsepower, not a big deal. 3.1. Yeah, let's go with this one so we don't have a gap. All right, and then here, we'll lease that. All right, close enough. It's not full, but that's all we're getting. Let's get some work done. Carefully. All right. I think we had a single layer of fert and we were first growth stage, or first harvest stage on the grass last time. So I'm hoping we'll be at least twice that. Oh, and I also need to, before we start mowing, I also need to remember to take a look and see if the projected yield is up or down now that it is like its final growth stage. I don't know if that adjusts in real time or if it's like once per year or what. There was a Brone trailer that I wanted to use, 4D Brone trailer. And I'm really curious if it's going to be, even the small one, the 2-axle, I think may be too big for this map. So we're doing over here. All right. And since all these fields are up, let's go start on field 7-7 first. The flat one. And we'll do, as we did before, we'll just make silage bales. And I'll bring them down here to our, I don't know what we call this, a little bonded facility. We'll just let them sit here till they ferment up. But I think, I mean, we got 30 grand. We still have to rent a rake and a baler, and we're still gonna have to rent a combine harvester. But I think we may be sort of out of the woods as far as money goes. So what we can do is wait till we have a better price and take these bales down and sell them. And I will, off camera, I will replace those 2 sheep that died. I feel bad about that. All right. Right through there. And I don't even know what combine harvester we're going to use. It's going to have to be one of the smallest ones in the game, as tight as it is to get up here. And I've got 2 or 3 really nice folding headers that I'm told are based on real headers, like a real thing in real life. It's not just a made-up sim thing. But I think we're going to use folding headers, because even the idea of getting a trailer in some of these fields, a header trailer is, I don't know, man. I don't like header trailers to begin with. Carefully. All right. All right. So turn the beacon off. Let's see what our volume is. So we get that unfolded. Turn it on and lower. Get these down. Trying to clear that pole right there. All right. Yeah, that's a lot more grass. That is a lot more grass than we got last time. I'd say at least 2x, maybe 3x. So I'm just going to knock this field out right quick and then go grab a rake. And I'd like to, let's bale this up. Yeah, let's finish off today with baling. Then I'll do the other 2 fields off camera. This is going to be an unbelievable amount of grass. I say we get, probably 30 bales per field. That is that's a lot of grass already. I'm excited. If we've got the horsepower, I think I may use one of the straw harvest balers. I know they typically have higher horsepower needs. Carefully. Carefully. They typically have higher horsepower needs than like base game balers. But if we can run one of those, I'd like to, because I want to use the net wrap that goes on the front. I think that's a great look for a rig. Big baler on the back and all the bales of net on the front of the tractor. Interesting. We've had, has it rained? We've still got hay on the fields from our last time we mowed. Or last time we mowed and tedded, we've still got hay on the fields, and I would have thought it would have rotted by now. Wow, this is almost too much grass. Bill, what is happening? Welcome to the stream, my man. How you doing? This is ridiculous. This is like, it's a bumper crop, and we've got 2 more fields like this. Well, I don't think we got our arable fields fertilized at this same level. So I think they're going to be like by percentage. I mean, I know the volume is going to be different because it's a different crop, but by percentage, I think our arable fields are going to be lower. But if next year we can get our arable fields to have this same, I don't know, percentage of yield, that's going to be amazing. And we'll go right in here. Just need to get that little bit right there. Then I'm going to lift everything and back up. So right there. Here we go. Let's go this way because we can take that little end bit off if we go the other way. All right, like right over here. Carefully. There we go. Hop right in here. Try a little bit of this. Oh, wow. Look at the height on those rows. This field doesn't have a yield displayed, Anders. The other 2 that we did, we processed all of them identically. Those say 65%. So if this is 65%, you know what I mean? I don't know what 100 or 125 is supposed to look like. Because this is ridiculous. There's so much grass. When we get down to the end of this row, I'll show you. Yeah, no worries. I think it could be that because we started precision farming in the middle of a season, like in the middle of a save game, it's just going to take a minute to cycle everything through and get all the fields in the XML populated. I think. Could be wrong. And I also feel like these weeds are permanent. Like, it doesn't matter how many times we roll over these weeds, they never go away. So I was thinking of using a bigger rake this time than we did last time, but now I'm questioning that because the row that we end up with, if we go with a wide rake, our row is going to be unmanageable. It's going to be too tall. Yeah, I mean, I'm a little disappointed. We were getting 10,000 per trailer for the silage bales. I think we might get more if we took it straight to the BGA, but we were getting a decent amount. But if we could bump that up and get, you know, 4 or 5 trailers rather than just 2 and make 50 or 60 grand on top of our arable crops and our wool, I feel pretty good about that for one of our first years. I mean, this is our first year, but that would be next year we'd be looking at that volume annually. I'd be okay with that. Relatively early in the save game. I think I'm running it. We'll find out when we get the baler hooked up. I think I'm already running it. All right. I was curious if precision farming would give you a nice payoff for going through the extra steps. So we'll have to see. But from the look of it so far, this is really a significant increase in the amount of grass we got first time around. And it seems like more grass than we were getting before precision farming. Does that make sense? Like if we had pre-precision farming DLC, if we had limed and fertilized these fields, would we be getting this volume of grass? It feels like kind of a bonus, you know? It feels like they're really paying off the mod. Close. Yeah, Anders, I had a feeling. I mean, it's tough to sort of gauge it visually, but I don't recall ever seeing this volume of grass before precision farming. It just seems like a lot, like really a lot. And I'm going to deadhead over here and take this other side off, and then we'll just start doing lengths. Yeah. Now I've got I saw in the Alpine farming baler, the Cavernaland that we used, and I assume it's this way in all base game balers now, but it's the first one I've used since I've been back. I think there's an auto unload for the balers now, but even so, unless you've got a pre-press chamber, the pickup still stops picking up. So you have to physically stop the tractor till the bale pops out, even if it does it automatically. So I think we'll go with that Cavernaland again and use the pre-press so we can keep things moving. Let's do this. Oh. Trying to get around the power pole. And I do think it makes sense to go with a smaller rake. Because if we went with like a 15-meter rake, our swath would be 3 feet tall. That's still good. Now, do we need to spray these weeds, or are these like decorative visual static weeds? Because I feel like they never go away. Yeah, it's a nice detail. It is. I've been, I've been spending all that time in Hunter Call of the Wild. That's better. I've been spending all that time in Hunter Call of the Wild and really playing slowly and just kind of enjoying the atmosphere. And it's, Lancey Boy calls it clutter. The real world around us is very cluttered. It's got a lot of just little details. It's like everything is full. And when you can bring that into a sim world, I think that level of immersive clutter, immersive detail, where there's just something everywhere, is what's really starting to make these worlds look like the world around us instead of video games. I like the dust coming up too. Is that new? I don't remember that from when FS19 just dropped. I could be wrong, but I feel like that dust blowing up and around is new. Oh wait, are we mowing these? Are we mowing these weeds? Okay, we're mowing those weeds. We're not mowing the weeds out on the edges of the field. Okay. So the weeds in the center are real weeds. The weeds on the outside are decorative scenery items. Okay. Good to know. It's very true, Anders. So we lift that. Lift that. I don't want to ignore too much. I mean, I know real farmers, every square meter of every field is like potential money, so they don't really waste anything. But I think a couple of these very small areas of grass that we missed, I think I may skip those. I know there was kind of a long gap in the middle of the stream where we were skipping time, so I don't want to waste any time. I want to keep moving as much as possible. Yeah, that's true. I learned a long time ago just to be still sometimes. Just be still and observe the world around you as it moves. All right, so we'll drop that. Drop that. And I think let's see what kind of horsepower we have on the T6. I want to say we're at about 140, 150. But I think we may be able to pull the rake with the T6. And we'll just use the JCB for the baler. I think so, Anders. I've seen that in real life. You know, you can't get every single bit. And we may get in a little closer on the other side, but I also don't want to hit the pole. I think we may make one more pass up here just to get the other side of that power pole behind us, because it's got quite a bit on it. Yeah. Then we'll call it. For mowing, I mean, I'm going to go grab a rake and work on that a little bit. Yeah, I mean, credit where credit is due. I feel like Giants has done a bit to, I don't know, maybe strike a balance with FS19. I know on day one, on release day, to me it seemed pretty obvious that they had focused almost exclusively on the console crowd. And I did feel a little bit left out. We can go ahead and turn this off and fold it up. We're just going to use the rear mower. I did feel, I have to say, a little bit left out. I felt like the game was not for me. It was just for casual players. But I feel like in the years since then, almost 2 years now, I feel like in the time since then, they have tried to strike a balance with things like precision farming. I feel like that is more of a serious sim gamer kind of mod. But I also have to say, I think it's respectful to people that play on console, right? That want to play realistically as well. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And I forget that. I forget that too. You know, there are people that, I mean, there are people that want serious sim racing, but iRacing is only on PC. You know, there are people that want, because ATS and ETS, that's PC only. That's not on console, is it? How do we want to do this? Let's put these over here. Hang on. Before I start hitting things. Just because you're on console doesn't mean you're not a serious gamer, and it doesn't mean that you're not looking for a serious sim experience. I think it's just more, it's more limited. You know, there's less options in your world. But if Giants is able to bring more of a realistic sim experience to console players, then hell yeah. And as always, if you don't want this stuff, you don't have to use it. Let's unfold these. You unfold these before you drop them, right? Because if not, as soon as you... Well, no, there's a mechanical lock, but as soon as you take them off the linkage, as soon as you... Oh, God, never mind. As soon as you take them off the hydraulics, they unfold anyway, don't they? Come on now. But I know there is a mechanical lock on them as well, so they don't fall down as you're walking past them and knock you out. Yeah, and that's, you know, everybody spends their money differently, but I don't know anybody who has... Oh, I'm trying to choose my words very carefully here. I don't know anybody who has bought everything they've ever wanted and doesn't have anything to buy anymore. Everybody that I know, under the right circumstances and with the right disposable income, they could find one more thing to buy. So I guess what I'm saying is money is limited for all of us. You know, there's always one more thing. And it's like, yeah, well, you can't get one more thing because there's no more money. And there might not, I mean, there might be money in the bank, but that's for your retirement. That's for a lot of things. You can't just spend it all. So the idea that, you know, well, you play on console and you want this type of sim experience, just get a PC. You know, it's not an option for some people. The mowers with the conditioner. I used a loading wagon that had a conditioner. Oh no, I know the one. I know the one you mean. But I never knew if that was cosmetic or if that was real. Like, did that really increase the quality of the silage or the volume of it? Because that was the same question I had about. Oh, we were going to take the T6 down. I will just take this. The T6 has that bracket on the front of it. The loading wagons, right, where you have to load them up with the silage additive, does that do anything, or is that sort of just another step to go through to be more realistic, but it doesn't increase the volume of silage or the quality of it? You have to use it to make silage in one go. Oh, okay. So if you use the conditioning mower, then you can just pick it up with a loading wagon and take it down to the BGA. But if you don't use the conditioning mower, then you have to use a forager. Otherwise, you have to tether it. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I'd like to see a lot more layers like that added to the game. Optional. of course. But if you, I mean, you can pick up grass with a bucket, right? If you can't even afford a loading wagon, you can just scrape up grass a couple thousand liters at a time with a bucket. I would like to see it so, at that very basic level, sort of unconditioned, unprocessed grass, pick it up with the bucket, and it gives you one type of silage. If you use a loading wagon with the macerator and the additive, you get a better silage. And if you use a forager, it completely emulsifies it, right? And then you get the best silage. But yeah, as many layers as they could add to this game, I'll take it, man. As complicated as you want to make it, that works for me. And I am enjoying precision farming. I do wish sometimes it was a little bit easier to track these things, that there was a tablet feature in the game where we could look back, because it's tough to remember this stuff without a spreadsheet. What did we do? When did we fertilize? What crop was that? Did we rotate? It's tough to remember all this stuff. If there was a way that the game could tabulate it for you, I suppose you could do it manually and actually put it in a spreadsheet. But if the game could keep track of that for you, and landscaping, whoa. Landscaping, I don't know. I mean, I don't do a lot of logging, and I get sort of frustrated when I do start logging, because I know you can make like $500,000 in an afternoon. But I feel like, I don't know. I feel like logging in this game, I know some people that's all they do, but for me, I feel like logging is not the best feature of this game. We want rakes, and let's try to use something from the Alpine pack. So that's 2.5 meters. That's a little too small. That's 3.5 meters. A little too small. We used this one last time, did we not? We used this one at 6 meters. We could go 6 or 12. Oh, game. Let's go 12. And we'll go, let's go Vcon. And we're going to lease that. 2,500. Ah. Oh, it hurts. It hurts. Yeah, I really would as well. And like I said, I know you can keep track of it manually, and some sim farmers do. But I would really like it if the game kept track of it for you. Now, I guess we get some of that functionality in precision farming. It looks like there is kind of a yield history. And I'm okay with that. I'm glad they added that. All right. And again, this is kind of a small rake until you see it next to that tractor, and it just dwarfs it. So let's be good neighbors here. Let's be good, safe farmers. Yeah, our swats are going to be, I mean, what's the over-under? I say we get 30 bales from that field. And then I assume we'll get 30 from the other two fields as well. So that's 100 bales at, what were we at? 400 apiece. So that's 40,000. 40,000 for silage. And that's second cut, and we'll get a third cut. So that's, I'm being optimistic here, but that's 80,000 less 10 and 10 for rental. So that's 60,000 for, oh, plus the other 20 that we got. So 80,000 for silage our first season. I'm okay with that. I'll take it. I'm really curious what our arable crops look like, because I know our lime is a little bit off. Our fertilizer is spot on, but our lime is off. So we'll see how we do on arable. Oh, and we have wool as well. Yeah, I'm happy with this first year. I am. It's been a little bit, I don't know. It's been hit or miss. We've had some problems, and we've wasted a little bit of money, but I think we're going to do okay. I was curious, not last stream, but the one before that, I was curious if we were going to be able to save this save game. And I know you can always just go in and give yourself like $20 bazillion and paint fields, but I like to try to be profitable. Try to be a good profitable farmer. Oh, we need to We need to repair our tractors too. It's only midsummer, so I think we're still okay. But we can't forget to do that too much longer. We've got 18 hours on this one. All right, so we will rake this field as quickly as possible. Where we at? About 2 hours and 20 minutes. We'll go rake this field as quickly as possible. Run down and grab a baler, and we'll bale this field all that we can, or hopefully all of the field. But we'll try to end the episode on a high note, and then I'll do those other 2 fields off camera. I will skip time off camera. I'll get all the bales put up down at the yard, and I will skip time off camera. Keep the animals fed, and we'll come back on the first day of arable harvest. And I will, since we were just fertilizing last episode, I will go ahead and put slurry on these grass fields off camera as well. And I don't think carefully. Come on. Come on. There we go. There we go. I don't think we'll be mowing again this year. We've mowed twice in one season. I don't think we'll be mowing again this year. But we do need to do an arable harvest. And then as far as prepping, yeah, let's prep those fields. And we may put in winter crops as well. But we'll prep those fields because we need to do... Precision Farming says slurry is the way to go before you plant. And we have the slurry purchase point now. So we will get some slurry on those fields. And then we just need to cultivate. We don't need to plow because we already plowed all of them. But we'll get slurry and lime on the fields. And hopefully combine that with fertilizer next spring. And we'll have a 100% plus yield. Okay. Haven't used this thing before. Let's see how it works. Beacons off. Unfolding. I've always liked the animations for equipment unfolding. Base game equipment, I think it works really, really well. All right. Lovely. So turn that on. I won't. Thank you for reminding me. I appreciate it. All right. So we drop that right about there. And I'm going to get a bit closer to this hedge than I normally would. But I think we're okay. And oh. Are we okay? I'm really focused on what's in front of me right now, so I'm not going to see how big this swath is until we're all the way around the field, but I suspect it is massive. I'm so curious. I'm so tempted. I really want to pivot around and look, but I'm not going to concentrate. Oh, it's interesting. It's not raking the hay. It's somehow just kind of excluding it. Interesting. I hope that's not stuck on the field. I don't think it is. I hope it's not. It's possible that it is because it was there before we installed precision farming. It may well be. All right. And we missed a little bit right down across the bottom of the field there. But again, I'm not going to get too hung up on it. Can always come back through off camera and clean some of this up. And I think we'll do, let's do 2 headlands. And I think that'll give us enough room to turn. Oh God. I can see it now in the distance. What? Look at that, man. That's ridiculous. All right, try not to hit the power pole. Oh, wow. I say at least 30 bales. I almost said 30 fields. I say at least 30 bales. Maybe more. You think 30 bales? I mean, 30 bales, 3 fields. Just to keep the math easy, call it 100. 3 cuts. 300 bales per season. 60 bales. And this is... Yeah, this is going to... When we start baling, I suspect... Oh, so close. When we start baling, I suspect it's going to be one of those sessions where the baler is making it like 15 or 20 yards before it has to empty again. Where it's dropping like 5 bales per length, per row. Yeah, this is going to be crazy. You know, they did correct the prices on silage. Okay, so it is picking up this hay now. But I felt like earlier it was just kind of going over it and not picking it up. It could be that it was like, I don't know, down in a ditch or something, and that's why we didn't get it the first time we raked. But I mean, I hope it rots. I hope it rots off the field so we get rid of it. Don't have to keep looking at it season after season. Grass is the new wool. They did correct the silage price, though, and I'm glad about that. I feel like they nerfed silage finally in FS19. And it's possible with seasons to go in and manually adjust the pricing and nerf it yourself. But silage was always so OP. You know, if they level gated it, I think that would be one thing. Where it did take you, you know, a certain number of hours of gameplay until you had enough XP to be allowed to make silage. But I felt like in base game it was always, in 15 and 17, it was like, all right, I'm out of money. All right, well, let's just plant a cornfield. Let's just make a quick few $100,000 and we'll solve all our money troubles. So I'm glad they nerfed silage. But this is... I don't know. Let's see if precision farming gets an update in the next week and they dial back the grass a little bit. And I may do the same thing I did, just deadhead over to that other side instead of trying to make too tight a turn. All right, I'm right back up here. I feel like this is really not an appropriate rake for a field like this with the power poles. And just a smaller map in general. I think the 6.9 meter that we used last time was a lot more appropriate. Arguably perfect. And I guess even smaller than that. I think if I was not streaming, I might have gone with that 3.5 meter. There's no buff for over fertilizing grass. Okay. Well, I mean, oh, okay. He tested it in manual mode. He force fertilized over 100%. Because I know with automatic it just won't apply it. But if you go manual, yeah, I guess you could. You know what I'm saying? Jam it in there. Take it. Gotcha. Okay. I mean, that's good to know. I was also worried about a penalty. That because I know you can burn your crops by applying too much fertilizer. So I was curious if over application of fertilizer damaged them in some way. That'd be a nice thing to add. That'd be a nice feature, right? Where if you try to get clever and go crazy with the fertilizer, you scorch your crops. And what size are those fields as far as acreage? Are they as small as this one? Smaller, bigger? I feel like this is a pretty small field for this. I mean, I'm not a farmer. I don't definitely know. But this just feels a little OP for this field. So lift that. Beautiful. Oh, and this thing does not like to turn. Come on. Come on. There we go. And what I'll probably do is same thing. We'll just go back up around the other side of that power pole because there's a little bit more on that side. It's not quite a full row, but enough that I want to get it gathered up. And I think I'm going to be making some sort of half passes because I left, as we were trying to lift this thing at the end of our lengths, I did leave some mess that needs a little cleaning up. We'll sort it out. So if we go here, yeah, you see what I'm going to do. I'm just going to move this row over. I don't know if you can do this in real life. I mean, part of me thinks you sort of can, and then another part of me is like, yeah, no. No, all you're going to do is make a mess. But here in SimWorld, we're certainly going to try it. All right. So we get all this consolidated. In SimWorld or in real life? All right, so we lift that, turn that off, and fold it. And I'm just going to leave this thing here. Just going to leave it in this field. Right, we'll work around it. You can't do that? Okay. We'll just work around this thing for now because if we put it on one of our grass fields, it would just be in the way, and I don't feel like taking it all the way back to the barn. All right. If we can find a gear there. It can be done? Okay. That's good to know. So now we need... Oh, this one always stings. This one always stings because it's going to be like $5,000. So I think... we used this one before. We used this one, right? We could use this one. I think this one is the one we haven't used. Okay, let's go with this one. Foil color. Let's go black. All right, wrapper design. Bail and interner. I don't know. Oh, is this yeah, this is for hills. This is for hills. This turns the bale so it doesn't roll away. Yeah, let's do that. It's a flat field, but we have other fields with hills. Oi. Oh, God. Ow. It hurts. Heston baler. Do I have one added in right now? I know I have one in my mod folder. We've got straw harvest. I don't think I have one installed at the moment. Ooh, but I wanted this thing. Oh, we didn't. Never mind. We didn't use the. Yeah, we didn't use the straw harvest baler. Heston can't do silage. Ah. I'm glad you caught that, because if I did have a Heston, Right now, I would be leasing it. And then 20 minutes from now, right? Oh, no. Oh, no. We'd have a bunch of giant grass bales and nothing to do with them. All right. All right, well, the episode has come around a little bit. I was I was a bit distracted the early part of the episode. Something was going on in chat. I'm trying to figure out what to do about it. But once we got rolling, things picked up. I hope they did. I think they did. There's our very odd field 3-7. Carefully. Carefully. I like leasing equipment. I mean, it's fun to have a big yard full of equipment, but it's a lot of money for one thing. And it beats up your frame rate a little bit. I remember when I was first playing FS19, I would want like one of everything. Just add in 10 million and go buy one of everything, right? And you get this big yard full of equipment. It's nice to look at. Just, you know, don't move. Because as soon as you move, you're getting like 10 FPS. But I feel like I've moved away from that a little bit. The other cool thing about leasing is you can use a lot of different equipment. Like the, I hadn't used any of the Vicon Caverneland stuff. And obviously I hadn't used any of the Alpine because it just dropped. But it was, I don't know. It's a nice compromise, I think. Oh, thanks, Anders. Whoa. I appreciate that. Thank you for the kind words. All right. Right down here. Yeah, I'm going to have to build this whole field. I think it'll take hopefully about 15 or 20 minutes. But I have to see how many bales we get. I'm also curious, are we going to have stripy bales? Or is that some kind of a safety panel back there? What is that? What am I looking at here? I mean, it certainly looks like that's part of the wrap. I don't know. We'll see. Let's take a look. All right, here we go. Yeah, I think they were due for some new equipment. I was a little bit disappointed to see how much equipment they recycled from 17 to 19. And I get that it's based on real-world equipment. And if that real-world equipment didn't, you know, if there's nothing different, then what are they supposed to bring into the game? I get that, but I felt like there was a little bit, you know, there's plenty of agricultural equipment in the real world that is not in the game. I know, licensing, and I get it. But I just felt like for it being a new game, for FS19 being a new title, I thought there would be more stuff to play with, more new toys. So it is cool to see them bringing in new toys via DLC. And when there's a season pass, like I got a season pass for 19. So from one angle, DLC doesn't cost me anything. From another angle, I just prepaid for my DLC. But when you get a season pass, it would be nice if they could roadmap the projected cost of all DLC. Right? Like if they could tell you, season pass is $50, but we anticipate releasing $150 worth of DLC. Oh, well, that's a no-brainer. I'll take it. Yes, I would like one, please. But if it's, you know, season pass is $30, we don't even know how much DLC we're going to make. We might not have a whole lot this year. All right. Well, then, what am I buying a season pass for? So I love the idea of a season pass. But I think sometimes a little bit more information would be helpful. Hang on. Got to read the chat. Yeah, agreed, Ernie. I think there are companies they have licensing agreements with that have more equipment in their lineup than is represented in the game. So it's not like they would have had to go, construct new licensing agreements with different manufacturers. And they've got Agco. Agco makes what, like 3/4 of the agricultural equipment in the world via all their companies. So I feel like they could have done it. Yeah, agreed. I think Season Pass for 19 is a good value. And I think a lot of other Season Passes are. And then there's some that I have, and it's like, wait a minute. Like, I got a set of Corsa Competizione. I pre-ordered it. And I got like a 50% discount for it. I think I paid like $29.99 US. Well worth it. I would have paid 2 times that easily. But every DLC that's dropped, I've had to pay for. So I had to pay for the Intercontinental pack. I had to pay for the GT4 cars. And what did I just buy? I don't know. There was another one that I just bought. And then the British track pack is coming this year. It's supposed to be out any time now, but we'll see. But, I mean, I don't mind because I got a super discount when I got the game. But I do remember when I got the game, it was like, oh, yeah. And DLC too. Okay. I mean, maybe I'm out of the window. Maybe it was like the first year or something. I don't know. But some season passes I feel like are worth it. Others, maybe not. But a roadmap would definitely help. Although, speaking as a marketing guy, maybe that's the reason they don't have a roadmap. Because they know if they had one, nobody would get the season pass. Civ 6 has a timeline. Yeah. Civ 6 is a nerd game, though. Civ 6, I feel like, is... that's the kind of title that the devs know not to mess with their fan base. You know? That's a different kind of crowd. The Civ 6 crowd is like philosophers and mathematicians. Right? Like, they're calculating it out. They've got the spreadsheet. Well, as you see here, if you purchase the season pass in the first quarter, right? Like, they've got it all mapped out. Where line B intersects line C, we derive value X, also known as value. So you're not going to put anything over on that crowd. I say it with love, Anders. I'm a nerd. I know it. You wouldn't guess it to look at me though, which is my favorite part. All right, here we go. This is going to be madness. Let's get over here. All right, so we get right over here. Oh, God. I'm saying 30. My guess is 30. All right, do we have to unfold? We do not unfold. We turn on automatic drop. Automatic drop is on. All right. I'm going to slow our speed down a little bit. 30 bales is my count. That's my estimate. Here we go. Oh, it doesn't even want to move this thing. Come on. Bale size? Too late. Too late, but I don't think it's going to matter. Yeah, it can't even pick up the whole swath. I'm going to have to go around this field afterwards and, like, clean it up a little bit. Interesting. This baler does not have the pre-press. And I think, yeah, when I'm looking here, I think I don't have it activated right now. Yep, I know it already. It's a cool club to be in because I'm like a gym rat. I'm sort of wide, shaved head, lots of tattoos and piercings. And people have no idea I'm like the nicest person. You do get plenty of room though. People give you space, which I appreciate. I like people as a concept, but I don't necessarily like interacting with them, being around them. All right, this is not the baler that I wanted. The Cavernaland does have the pre-press. I assume this one did as well because it was one of the newer, more modern ones from a DLC. But Yeah, nope. All right. This swath is ridiculous. And as light as our display is, I'm having a super hard time seeing it. There we go. I think those black and gold striped boards are just safety boards, possibly for where the wrap comes across so you don't get sucked into the bale. But I was curious if we'd have stripy bales. I've seen stripy bales. I know you can get stripy bale wrap, so it is a thing. It's just not a thing in this game. Or is it? Has somebody made a stripy bale wrap mod? Yeah, I'm going to need to come back around and pick up everything I'm missing. I think the swath is just too wide. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if we get if we get 10 from one headland, if we get 10 from one headland, we're maybe looking at 40 bales from this field, which would be 120 for second cut. Haven't seen it yet. Haven't seen what yet, Anders? Man, the intricacy of the animations, like all the different things that move on this baler, and our frame rate is, I mean, checkered foil, right on. I know I've seen it in an image, but I've sort of, in my mind, I've sort of blurred the line between reality and sim, so I don't know if I saw it in a photo of a sim farm or a real farm, but I believe I've seen it in sim as well. All right, there's that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to come around this field and clean it all up. There's so many places that I'm missing. Swath is just too fat. All right, so we'll finish this off. Where are we at? Just over 3 hours. Yeah, we can finish this off and we'll call it. End it on a high note. Yeah, it could be my safety bumpers. All my trucks, when I skin them, I put a striped safety bumper on them. So maybe I'm just hallucinating it. Anything's possible. All right, and then we have, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 lengths. Yeah. Anders, the only way I could see it would be advertising purposes. Essentially, somebody would be like, I don't know, trying to make like sponsored bales. That when you saw those bales, you knew what brand wrap it was. But what are we doing here? Come on. We need to reset our start gear. Hang on. So if we go here, I mean, I don't think we can go a whole lot lower. I mean, we don't really have a launch gear because we're CVT. There we go. I mean, we're going up a little bit of a hill. try this. We can also lock in some diffs. Just front diffs. Oh, I guess we're if we have a locking front diff, then I guess we're all-wheel drive all the time. Yeah, I can't handle too much more of this. This is that SnowRunner mode that triggers me. Yeah, I mean, you could say this field has a hill. All right. Let's see if we can get up here. Yeah, it was just a combination of the grade and PTO power. It's okay. We'll do it. We'll just have to make passes downhill, but we'll get it. And I think, just so we have some room to turn, let's go ahead and turn around and come down and get this row on the outside. Let's get this one from the other side. Yeah, I mean, in fairness, this baler probably weighs, in real life, what, 3 or 4 tons, 5 tons? And then it's got quite a lot of grass in it, which is kind of a wet, heavy thing. So yeah, it's quite a bit of weight to be towing up a hill. Yep, that little bit of grade made all the difference. Interesting. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, it's true. And I think, I mean, base game is too forgiving on PTO. It's too forgiving on horsepower in general. But again, you know, it's a game. It's just supposed to be fun. Darrow, what's happening? How you doing, man? Whoa. Almost went right past the end of the road. There we go. How you doing, man? Yeah, I'm really liking the animations, like the mechanical animations for the way the bales extract. I think that's really, really well done. All right. I suppose we could go around at the bottom here and sort of clean up the end of the lengths. I'm fantastic. Played Farb Sim with my pals. Who could ask for more than that? All right, right across there. And I think, what do we get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, that's at least, I'd say at least a dozen. At least a dozen across the headland. Interesting. So we'll get this now. That work, because we got to keep working downhill. Got a 17 server, but having some lag issues. Who are you hosting with? But you don't have to say it if you don't want to. Just curious. Yeah, that's what I love about the Krone Ultima being able to open the panels and turn the lights on. Was it you that was saying that's a mod that the Giants needed to make rather than a modder? Yeah, we're gonna have to do this downhill only. That's crazy. I mean, there is a grade. There is a grade, but it is, I'd say, pretty minor, but it's still too much. Very games? Okay. All right. And you know what? We still have the rake. We still have the rake. I may use the rake to clean this field up a little bit because there's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot of grass that we miss. Just as fat as this swath is. It's like we physically can't straddle it to pick it all up. It's squirting out the sides. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think we could do 35 because it's about 5 per length. 8 lengths. So between now and Thursday, I need to mow, rake, and bale those other fields without fail. And then I'll skip time ahead, and we'll next episode will be harvesting. Oh, and I have to fertilize these fields too. Next episode we will be harvesting. Now I think we don't have to apply lime. It's only every 3rd harvest. Is that correct? So I don't think we'll have to lime our grass fields, but we will have to put slurry on them. Let me know what you think about the horsepower requirements for straw harvest. I like it, but it is particularly the pellet maker. It's like it never really, I was never really able to use it because even with a 500 horsepower tractor, I feel like you're going like 1 mile per hour every 3rd year. Now, does it taper in between or does it drop off completely at the end of the 3rd year? Because if it's tapering, I'm going to be tempted to like reapply and try to keep that value at 100%. All right, let's head back up top. Oh, this has turned into a really nice stream. I was about 15 minutes in. I was debating just bailing out. I was really having the struggle, but I'm glad it came around. This is turning into a nice stream. So we got this one. Here we go. Yeah, exactly, Taro. Exactly the same thing that I did. I had it on like a smart track, which, I mean, it's a huge piece of kit, no doubt, but that seemed unrealistic. I've also, even without more realistic, I've never been able to really make money with the pellets. It's a cool idea, and I like any type of equipment that requires other steps. right? Like you have to add water, you have to add molasses. I think that's super cool and a nice detail. But it seems like what you do with the pellets isn't really, like there's no money in them. There's really no, it's not worth it. I feel like a piece of equipment that big, that expensive, that moves that slowly, it's like, well, you know, I finally saved enough money to buy it, and now I'll get a great return on my investment. But it seems like you can just as easily, there we go, you can just as easily make hay bales rather than hay pellets. And I also have to say, I was extremely disappointed with the building that comes with it, with the little crane inside. It feels very gimmicky to me. It doesn't really work very well. It's expensive to place it, and it's always struck me as just very gimmicky. I don't really know what the purpose of it is. And again, it's like if using the crane caused you to have an increase in profitability, or you made more money with it or something, then that would make sense. But it feels like it's just something they did for the sake of doing it rather than for any real reason. All right, so I'm going to drop this bale off the back there. I head back up top. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Yeah, we got 20 now. Got 20 bales right now. All right. All right, Anders. Thanks for stopping by. I do appreciate you. And tomorrow we're going to do ATS, and then Thursday we'll be back on the farm. All right, man. Yeah, it's really tough to balance mods, I think, because there's so many different play styles. Now, I do think what happened with Straw Harvest is the reason why there aren't very many third-party pay mods, why there's not a lot of third-party payware, because I want to say that was cracked within about, I don't know, 45 seconds of being released. And I know, I mean, devs know, they're gamers too, they know how it works. So I would assume they were anticipating some amount of cracking. But there's so many mods that, you know, even DLC from Giants, the way the game is set up, people are like, what do I need Season Pass for? I'll just wait 15 minutes and it'll be cracked and I'll download it for free, right? The alternative is, you know, some kind of like crazy anti-cheat on their game, and that's brings its own problems. But I feel like third party, they're just not willing to take the risk of investing money in building a paid DLC, knowing how quick it's going to get out there. There we go. And I'm going to trim these little bits off the end here. All right. Let's head back up top. So I am concerned because this field has barely any hill to it. And I mean, we're getting up it once we come off the PTO power. We are getting up it, but it does take a minute. And those other two fields across the highway, 4.0 and 7.8, they have a significant grade to them. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's a part of gaming. I mean, I certainly have an opinion about it. I know it's wrong, right? In its simplest analysis, I know it's wrong to take something that somebody has made to sell for money and use it for free. But I think the way I justify it, the way a lot of people justify it, is to say, well, you know, I don't have money to waste on these things, and I want to see what it is before I buy it. And I've tested games. I've tested cracked games. I think everybody has. But if it's a good game, I immediately buy it. And if it's not, I figure, well, I would have most likely refunded it anyway. But I know I could do that through Steam. You know, it's just as easy to do it through Steam. You get 2 hours to try it out. And that way, at least the developers are getting the feedback. But I don't know. It's this weird gray area where it's never okay, but in a way, it's sort of expected. You know, it's like I don't know. It's like you're doing a show, you know, and people that pay tickets can see it from up front, but even people that don't buy tickets can see it from across the street. You know, you got to expect people are going to watch from across the street. And it's like the only way to get away from that is to, you know, start putting up massive barriers and going to all these extremes. What was I playing the other day that had de novo? I was playing some single player game that had de novo. I was just sort of baffled by that. You know, why you would go with an anti-cheat that aggressive in an SP game. But some developers, I guess, have no sense of humor about it at all. But I don't know. I feel like you can't cheat in an SP game. There's really no rules. You're just playing by yourself. You should be able to play any way you want. Yeah, it's one of my favorite things. I also like that it seems to make the when the RPM come up, when you apply PTO power, it seems to be a lot more noticeable than in base game. You get black smoke. I think that is, to me, that definitely adds to the realism. All right, and as soon as we come across the top here, we'll trim the top off these, just so we have a little bit more room. I think this will be great for hay bales, but silage bales, I have to say, I chose poorly. This is crazy. I think we'll get as many bales from this one field as we got from all 3 of our fields first cut, which we knew was going to be light because we didn't wait for second harvest stage. But this is crazy how much grass we have here. Yeah, no worries. I wish I could remember the modder's name off the top of my head. When I was in 17 all the time, I knew it, but I've forgotten it. But I feel like he is adamant about making people suffer. So I do think the mod needs a little tweak, just a little bit. I think it can be a bit over the top. All right. Well, this has been super productive. I thought we'd be fertilizing more. and taking care of animals. I didn't think we'd get to mowing and baling. But this has really worked out well. Okay. And we'll take a look in a menu before we dip out of here, just so we get an exact count, because there's almost too many to accurately count pivoting around. So we'll use the menu to see how many bales we made. And then tomorrow we're going to drive to Durango. We're down in New Mexico right now. I swapped back to the Volvo, and we will drive to Durango. Discover that, and that will be all our cities for Colorado. I just saw the announcement. Next DLC is going to be Wyoming for ATS. I imagine that's going to come in 1.40. And we'll get Wyoming and Iberia in 1.40. Come on. There you go. Yeah, I think it's the difference between moving slowly but still feeling like you're moving and accomplishing something, and just sitting in place. You know, I saw it wasn't quite a rage quit, but it was awfully close. I was watching a YouTuber, and he was using more realistic for the first time, trying to pull like a 4-meter drill up it was a moderate slope, but it was a 4-meter drill. And he couldn't pull it with the tractor that he had, so he got a bigger tractor, and that didn't work. So he went and got Challenger MT at like 500 horsepower, and that couldn't pull it. And at a certain point, it really is. It's so realistic, it's unrealistic. You know, ultimately, at the end of the day, it is a video game. We call it a simulation, but it's a game. And if it's not fun, you know, why are we doing this? I like challenging. I really do. I mean, flight sim, trying to play it as realistically as I do, and, you know, all the instrumentation and everything. I really like playing that realistically. Race sims, setup, you know, iRacing, tire physics, tire heat, all that stuff, as realistic as possible. I really, really love it. But I feel like in some sims, 100% realism is not possible. And at that point, it's okay to let go a little bit, make some compromises, and make the game feelistic. It's feelistic. It feels realistic, even though we know it's not, but it's still fun. You know, that's the critical part, is it's got to be fun. When it's so realistic that it's not fun, then it's not fun. That's why I uninstalled Zoofsy. Unbelievably realistic train simulator, but just wasn't a lot of fun for me. Yeah, you know, I think it can be even beyond that, where it's not even work, it's just suffering. Because even when you're working, you're getting something done. But I think if you make a sim so realistic that it's unrealistic, then you can't even work. Taro, is that for 17 or 19? Because I remember there were 3 ground response mods for 17, and I don't think they carried over to 19. But then we are running. It's for 17. Yeah, I know the ones you're talking about. There are maybe 8 or 10 mods that I consider like my core realism mods for 17. So it's more realistic. Gearbox, air brake, and oil change by Black Panther. Slower refueling. There's a couple others. Oh, the 3 ground response mods. But that's the first thing I turn on when I go into a save game. Like when I create a new save game. All right, here we go. Let's see how we did. We want to be here. Created bales 31. Interesting. Okay. Well, initially I thought 30, then I thought 40. And it turns out we were at 30 or 31. All right. Well, I'm going to let the JCB keep running because it's been working hard. And we want to let it cool down properly. So turn off the HUD. Turn that off. There you have it. Oh, man. It came around. I was worried. Altero, I'm just wrapping up. So I'll see you tomorrow. We're going to do ATS. But yeah, stream started a little rocky, but it did pick up. So thank you all for that. It's so much more fun when you're here. It really is. If you're not here, I'm just playing video games and talking to myself. So it's always better when you're here. I do appreciate you. You're a great audience. See you tomorrow, ATS, and then Thursday we'll be back here in Purbeck. Thanks, everybody. Good night.